we about to do it. Watch us get into it. We some lumberjacks, and we needing wood. Yeah, we going for the sweep, and we mop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up, 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 chop it up. We put it all on the block, and then we chop it up.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Chopping Block Podcast presented by DJ's Clam Shack, and it's one of our favorite things of the week, the NFL show. And let's run down tonight's lineup. We got two Turnt Tony in with us. We got one half of the Brotherhood, the CCW Tag Team Champion himself, the Thoroughbred Havoc, Coach Price, and tonight's host, and always the host for the NFL show, Mr. Beast of Kane. Take it away.
Welcome, everybody. I just noticed, guys, I'm just going to throw this out here real quick. Right as we went live, I saw that we had some kind of technical issue on Facebook. And it has said to me something about our page being blocked. So that's very weird. So we're going to have to take a look at that. After the show. We are live right now on YouTube, so let's just take a look at that after the show. But this topic right here, this comes up right now, is by way of Wreaking Havoc, Thoroughbred himself, and he said, "Beast of Kane, what do you think about this as a possible trade?" And I've been hearing about this all week, like everybody else has been hearing about it. I don't know if it actually would go through, but man, I would love to see this go through. You hear about rumors like this, seldom do you see them getting done, especially in the middle of the season, at the beginning of a season. I think that'll be real strange, but let's see what happens. Havoc, what do you have to say about this?
Wow, where do I begin, Barry? Now, what you said about this year, odds are it won't happen this year, but potentially for next season, after the end of this season, I have to say who would win in this trade would be Atlanta. From what I've seen, Justin Fields has a lot more natural talent than Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder, there's a lot of throws he can't make, and against the Jaguars, I'll say this as nicely as possible, he didn't look like an NFL quarterback out there. He had a lot of trouble reading the basic defense. They weren't out there throwing complicated Bill Belichick schemes out there. The Jaguars were just lining up and playing man coverage, and he couldn't read a defense. So with that being said, Justin Fields, and here's my take on Fields. He hasn't been good so far. Now, last game, he did great until he fumbled on Sunday. And the reason I think Fields has struggled is, guys, I'm going to raise a topic here in the Chicago Bears. They have not developed a quarterback since Jim McMahon in 1985 of the Chicago Bears when they won the championship. Because remember, Jay Cutler was acquired in a trade. So that means they haven't developed a quarterback since Jim McMahon, which is why I think Justin Fields is just stuck in the wrong environment. Do I think he'll succeed in Chicago? Absolutely not. But I don't think many quarterbacks would. They've been ruining quarterback after quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky, Justin Fields, and the list goes on and on. It just seems to me like the Bears are cursed when it comes to drafting the quarterback position. So who would win definitely would be the Atlanta Falcons.
Even Brian Greasy.
What do you say, Dalton?
Listen, I'm going Justin Fields all day on this one. And let's be honest, if you don't think Justin Fields is more talented than Desmond Ridder, I want to hear your explanation next. So go ahead and raise your hand so Barry can call on you, because I just don't see how. I'm not saying that Justin Fields is an all-star or anything, a Pro Bowl or none of that, but let's be honest. He's better than Desmond Ridder. So the Falcons do get a Justin Fields. Falcons win this trade. The Bears somehow manage to get worse.
Two turn. You didn't hold up your hand, but I saw smoke coming out of your ears. So go ahead and ride with it.
It's not really smoke, man. I don't believe in either one of these guys.
And people can call it hate, call it whatever. Man, Justin Fields can throw the ball far, but he's not accurate. He makes dumb decisions all the time. I mean, you look at last week. He's got weapons right now. It's not like the coaches are terrible. Chicago's terrible, but it's not like you don't have weapons. DJ Moore is a legit receiver one. He was in Carolina with nobody at quarterback there. So you're telling me he upgrades quarterbacks from P.J. Walker to Justin Fields and they can't get anything going? I mean, they finally had something going against the freaking Broncos last week. And what happens when Justin Fields has the chance? He takes a crap in his pants and throws one of the worst interceptions of the weekend. Throws it right into the defender's chest. Didn't even read the coverage. So, yeah, athletically, and this is the problem with Atlanta fans, right? Atlanta fans always want a guy who resembles Michael Vick. Always. It's something with the fan base. The entire Atlanta Falcons fan base would say, oh, yeah, let's get Justin Fields right now because he can run and throw. But it doesn't matter right now with the Falcons. Ritter's awful. I said that since week one, even though he found a way to win. And bull crap. I don't care if you find him. You throw for 85 yards in the NFL, you're not good.
Oh, hold on. Is Joe Burrow?
Go ahead.
Is Joe Burrow good?
Not right now. He's not. Not this year. Historically, yeah, he's terrible right now. I mean, even his marriage with Jamar Chase is on the line right now, apparently, and we'll get into that later in the show also. But no, man, Desmond Ritter's terrible. The dude's not an NFL quarterback. And the bad thing is, the coach for the Falcons, he's dumber than a box of rocks. He just keeps going, well, we're going to stick with Desmond Ridder. I mean, are you trying to get more draft picks? Are you trying to pick early in the draft? You got a guy who is not the most talented quarterback in the NFL, but you have a proven winner as a second-string quarterback. Taylor Heineke is a winner. He took Washington to the playoffs, and they were terrible. The dude can win the Falcons games. The Falcons have all the weapons on offense anyway. Their line's not great, but you have the receivers, you have the tight end, you have the running back. I mean, you got two running backs. Bijan is the best player on that team all around, hands down. And the Falcons do have a good defense. They have a legitimate defense. But as we all know, if the offense can't get anything going, the defense goes to crap. So, honestly, I don't think this trade's worth it for either side. And I don't think it'll happen. But I can see where people would want it to happen.
Okay, so answer the question.
To win the trade, I would say Chicago wins if they trade him because they get more draft picks.
Oh God, there he goes. But that's a good way to dodge, though. That's a
Mr.
good one.
GM.
I gotta give you credit. That was a great dodge. What do you say, Coach?
In this situation, man, hands down, it'd be the Falcons. I mean, with the run game that they got right now, you put a mix of Justin Fields in it. Like you said, he can throw the deep ball. Anytime you're a threat running the ball, what's wide open? The deep ball. Who's proving that right now? Milroe. So I think that Justin Fields in Atlanta would be great for more than just football. You got to realize his support base is in the state of Georgia. So he's closer to home. So that always puts a bigger boost in confidence in any player. So the Justin Fields that we knew about before he ended up going to the NFL and he was at Ohio State and what he did at Harrison County here in the state of Georgia, Northwest Georgia, then it's always going to be a positive. You're actually playing at home. Your fan base gets a lot bigger. You're actually getting to see family. Nobody is traveling to Chicago to watch y'all get trashed there. So to me, the Falcons win, and I'm with it with TJ on it. Chicago is going to benefit on draft picks, but you bring Justin Fields in. Atlanta has already got your running back, like you said, 2 running backs. Now you're just really looking for a top free agent as a wide receiver, so you can go spend money for your wide receiver now. And then we're looking at something totally different because in Atlanta, Kyle Pitts, he's an X factor. So you bring in the right system with the right quarterback, with the run game that you got, with a deep threat over the top and a tight end such as Kyle Pitts, with a defense that can maintain, then the Falcons, hands down, all day, they win this.
You know, let me throw a little 2 cents into this little bucket right quick. What I always say, what people tend not to get, is football is about more than talent. This is where coaches earn their money. Here we have somebody in Justin Fields, and the jury is still out on Ritter because he is relatively new. We have seen Justin Field play at a high level. And two turn just real quick. Will you tell me where he played at the last time you saw him in all of his glory? Just tell me where.
The last time I saw him play was when he was getting drug in the national championship.
Okay, so can anybody tell me the last time you seen Justin Field playing at the highest level, where was he at?
Ohio State.
He was at Ohio State, and go back and look at the year that he had, and you cannot deny that this kid played his butt off. So I say that to say this, two things. Ryan Day is a hell of a coach. And secondly, I'm going to say that Justin Fields has not had the benefit of having a great coach. And I believe that he may not benefit from going to Atlanta, to what two turn said. I don't believe in the coach in Atlanta. He looks like he's totally just in la la land. So who benefits from this trade? I really don't know, to be completely honest with you. But I will say this: if you're just talking about talent, and if you had a way to, if Smith can kind of like turn into Shanahan, Justin Field gives you every chance you need to win ball games.
Hey, Barry, I got a question real quick, though, since you wanted to bring Ryan Day into this. Name the last time an Ohio State quarterback didn't go off in college, regardless of coach.
We'll talk about that on another show.
And
Okay, but let me ask this: what if Ryan Day gets fired at Ohio State, hired by Atlanta? Do you think Justin Fields is the fit now in Atlanta, Barry?
Yes, because here's the thing, like you just said, Coach, earlier. You brought up some really great points. Justin Fields would be at home in Georgia. Secondly, I don't know if you guys see the Falcons quite like I do in terms of their fan base, but it seems like Tony said they want Michael Vick. It's almost like a black franchise. In a lot of ways. If you really think about it, if you go to Atlanta, they ride or die with the Atlanta Falcons. I jumped off that train a long time ago. But what I'm trying to say is they would probably give Justin Fields a certain level of energy to go off in Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you, but I still don't believe in the coach. So I'm just going to say this. I still believe from a talent position, Atlanta wins, but I don't know overall who wins the trade, because I wasn't even thinking about the draft pick kind of situation that Tony brought up. So who knows who wins this trade, but I definitely would love to see it happen. Moving on to some more important discussion. Y'all, I know y'all think I'm crazy for coming back. Hey, like Georgia Bulldogs, I'm coming back to back with some Taylor Swift talk, right? Guys, I want to know, and this is not a non-serious question. I'm dead serious about this. Is Taylor coming between Mahomes and Kelsey? Talk to me, Coach.
Indeed. Right now, this is the situation that any opposing player of the Kansas City Chiefs want right now, is to be able to have those two guys not on the same page. Because right now she's causing a distraction and everything is good. And we all know about a relationship or even a marriage. What are you going to do when the dough turns sour?
That's right.
So the first time they say Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift are having problems, well, how do you know that? Well, they were seen on TMZ having an argument at a restaurant and she wasn't at the game Sunday. Now look where the news is. So yeah, Taylor Swift, what you should do is what 95% of NFL wives, fiancés, and girlfriends do. watch the game at home, sit in a booth where nobody knows that you're there, or don't even watch football, period, because you're too big of a name to be part of this equation for them to be successful. So all I can say is, man, you wait until the thunder roars, and then we'll see what happens with Travis Kelsey and Mahomes when Mahomes saying, "Look, dude, have you seen my wife on TV? No. Have you really seen my wife doing anything where the camera and everybody in the stadium is focused on her? No. Then maybe you ought to take a page out of my book and do the same thing." My high school coach used to tell us all the time, the only way you would not succeed when it comes to Friday night is instead of worrying about who you're playing, you're thinking about what split tail you're trying to chase after the game.
You know what, Coach? I absolutely agree with that. And when you brought up Brittany, I think that's Patrick's wife's name. They never show her on the camera before. You never see her, and that's his wife. That's the man's wife, and you never see her. But they keep the camera. If you watch the Chiefs games now, and Taylor's there, they keep that camera up in that box. It's big. She has gotten bigger than the game. What do you say, Dalton?
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you one thing. This whole thing, the only thing it's doing for the most part, it's coming between me and football. I can't even turn on ESPN anymore. I didn't watch the Chiefs game the last time they played against the Jets. I ain't going to watch them next week. I'm sick and tired of it. I can't stand Taylor Swift's music. It gets on my nerves. I had a crazy ex-girlfriend who that's all she listened to all day long. And she pulled out into oncoming traffic and blamed it on me because she couldn't go to her favorite gas station. That's what Taylor Swift does to these girls. Okay. She is drama and she's bringing drama to the Kansas City Chiefs. And let me tell you what's going to happen next. We saw from Tom Brady and Giselle, she stopped showing up to the games. Oh, there's some turmoil. Maybe a divorce is coming. A divorce did come. And Tom Brady has one of the, he wasn't great that year. He was okay, but it showed. I mean, he looked horrible at times in press conferences. Looked like an old man. I know he probably was, but he still was athletic and great. He just looked crazy. I mean, it was a bad divorce. You could tell. He retires after that. So, and you mentioned they didn't bring up Brittany on the camera. Here's one thing they did. When they did show her and all the attention at Taylor Swift, she didn't look too happy. And I'm not a fan of Brittany either. I'll just be honest with you. She acts like a maniac in the stands, and it's shown on TikTok, not on ESPN. I don't like Patrick Mahomes' brother either. I like Patrick Mahomes, but the whole family's weird and nothing but a distraction anyway. So what's going to happen here? Eventually somebody will go, whether it's Taylor Swift, which I hope. Is it Kelsey? I don't hope that. Or is it Mahomes or his wife?
You said it right, my friend. Hey, two-turn. What you got on it?
I'm going to go the other direction, man. I don't think it's as big a distraction as everybody's acting like. So Travis Kelsey actually came out today and said that the NFL has blown this out of proportion, not them. And I agree with it. And the NFL, basically admitted they were wrong by responding to what Travis Kelsey said. They always say a hit dog hollers. If they didn't feel that they had done something to overdo it, they would have never responded to Travis Kelsey for everybody to see. They try to say, the NFL follows popular trends and Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift's a popular trend. Okay, well, there's a popular trend there's always a football player hooking up with some superstar or trying to get with one or shouting one out. Tyreek Hill was saying when he literally last week playing the video game, he said, when I retire from football, I want to be a porn star. I don't see no Pornhub abs on the NFL during the Miami Dolphins games. Do y'all? So, like I said, it's a pick and choose thing with the NFL, and people can say that it's affected. It didn't affect Travis Kelsey's play. He still had 6-7 receptions for 85, 90 yards. I mean, we don't expect him to have 130 yards and 2 touchdowns every game. I mean, he is a tight end after all. But I don't think Travis Kelce's letting it affect him. I think everyone else is letting it affect how we view the game. Travis Kelce's a dog. He's going to play that way regardless. Now, I agree with Mahomes' wife. She got a little bit of psycho in her, so I don't know. But like I was saying earlier, the biggest thing was to me is how they were showing Taylor Swift, but you never seen the most famous guy that was in the booth. Ryan Reynolds was 2 seats over, and this man ain't even getting no screen time. That was the biggest joke to me.
I don't even know Ryan Reynolds. What'd you say, Havoc?
Do what?
I don't.
Well,
you've seen Deadpool, Barry. Deadpool.
I don't know Ryan Reynolds.
Man, you need to.
But I do know Taylor Swift. What do you say, Havoc?
Well, what I'm going to say is going to surprise you guys a little bit. I don't necessarily think it's causing a distraction, and here's why. Guys, when you look at Travis Kelce, I mean, let's be honest. He's not an intellectual. Like, he's not the type that's going to be in his head and overanalyzing and thinking. Travis Kelce is a bro, man. He's going to go out there, ball out, play football, and probably not think too much when Taylor Swift is talking to him. He's just going to enjoy the moment and get the job done. And then on the other hand, now the reason it could cause a distraction is because of Miss Mahomes, Miss Brittany. She hasn't handled the situation well at all. I've seen several pictures of her pouting like a 4-year-old because she's not getting attention anymore. She's not the favorite toy anymore. Now Miss Kelsey's hugging Taylor Swift. And what I'll say about this, yeah, the NFL has overexposed the two of them, but I get why they're doing it. And guys, if you think about it, if you see like on Twitter trending, non-football fans, and they see Taylor Swift trending with Travis Kelce, they're going to turn on the TV and they're going to want to watch the game. So you're going to attract new viewers. And you're also going to attract female viewers who don't even watch football because they want to see Taylor Swift. So I get why the NFL is doing it. Now, it probably is a little inconvenient for the Chiefs, though, unfortunately.
Hey, listen. Anybody who say this is not a distraction, you got everything you just said proves that it's a distraction. What is, listen, if you married or have a girlfriend and she upset, you upset. And anybody who ever been in a relationship knows that. Yeah, Brittany's probably upset because she used to be the queen bee. She was the top of the knot, And so you cannot tell me last week Mahomes played terrible to me. He threw 2 picks, man, that were just terrible. And another one that should have been picked.
Barry,
I'm telling you, go ahead, Havoc.
Sorry to interrupt. You could argue Zach Wilson outplayed Mahomes on Sunday night.
You know what? Yes. Well, if you look
at it was just one game, but just on Sunday, he outplayed.
But if you look at the standard of what we expect from Zach and what we expect from Travis, he did outplay. Patrick, he did outplay him. Okay, yeah. And that's the point, guys. Patrick Mahomes is affected by what's going on, man. He is not the same. I look at him. I love this guy. I look at him every week, even down to his mannerism. If that ever been a bromance, I had one with Patrick. Okay? Something is wrong with Patrick. And don't tell me that Kelce is not a diva. Kelce is a diva. He is 100% a diva. Kelce is different. You cannot tell me if I am responsible for bringing Taylor Swift into the kingdom, and she's on everything, and she's huge. She's bigger. Everybody's looking forward to seeing Taylor. They don't care about the games anymore. Guys, Taylor Swift is a major distraction, and your guys going to see it. If it wants to, they won last week, and all of this is going to be fine as long as they keep winning. Mm-hmm. As soon as the Chiefs start losing, that's going to be a beeline to Taylor Swift. You can mark it down. It is a huge distraction. And I'm telling you right now, and if you just think for a minute, this was the New York Jets, okay, with bad Zach Wilson, and you almost got beat, dude. I'm telling you, man, I would have a problem with that. I'm gonna tell you another thing. I think Andy Reid better get a hold of this really, really quick, because I'm telling you, it could be some beef between Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes coming up. I just believe it, guys.
The first time he leave the toilet seat up, it's over.
Over. Hey, listen, guys. Let's talk about somebody who ain't caring about Taylor Swift right now. Let's talk about a young man that seemingly nobody wants to give that much credit. Talking about clouds, this dude is flying up under the radar. Is Stroud on a cloud, or is he about to rain? What you say, to Tony?
Hey, I'm glad you came to me first, Barry, because I was actually going to ask to go first. So I'm going to give him his credit. He's playing outstanding right now. And, you know, if anyone, I don't know why I have this weird thing with the Texans. I've always liked watching the Texans. Like, I don't know why, going all the way back to when Matt Schaub was starting for him.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's when D-Hop was there. You know, D-Hop was always getting 1,000+ yards with Joe and Jim at quarterback every single year. I've always been fascinated with the Texans. And now, you know, they hired D'Amico Ryans, former Alabama legend. So I'm in even more on them. And they got Will Anderson, obviously, on top of that. But if you watched last year, I mean, their offense wasn't horrible. Davis Mills was a guy who, you know, had some potential, but just wasn't showing a whole lot on the field. He'd have some flashes, but then he'd just do some really bad things. And so they really did. It really is one of them situations where, you know, you get a quarterback, that team could go from mediocre to possibly a wild card team, especially in that division. So, and then, you know, they got John Mechie back finally, you know, the receiver out of Alabama who recovered from the ACL and also recovering from having leukemia back out there.
Wow.
So you have two weapons, and then you throw in Mechie as your third. You add in C.J. Stroud, and Damian Pierce is a hell of a running back. You have a really young offense that has potential. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Barry, you're going to like it and hate it at the same time. They're going to march into Atlanta this weekend and get another win. C.J. Stroud is going to come in, and he's going to find a way to win that game against a really tough Atlanta defense. Their offense isn't good, but they do have a tough defense. I think C.J. Stroud's really, really good. Now, whether he can sustain what he's doing over 16, 17 games and then build on that, because, you know, we also seen guys that do good in year 1, year 2, or even year 3, and then all of a sudden they shoot right back down to average because teams start figuring out their tendencies. They start seeing what they like to do, and then they start shutting them down. So I do think Stroud has the potential, and I think he's playing great right now. But, I mean, I can't wait to see what he does going forward.
I totally agree. What'd you say, Dalton?
You know, I'm kind of tied on this whole ordeal here. I think it's too early to say he's going to reign. But, man, he looks impressive. Definitely the best rookie by far, you know, in the quarterback position. And you know what? You could honestly say we should have saw this coming. He looked great at Ohio State all year last year. Should have beat Georgia, you know. Man, he's talented and he's smart. He's not turning the football over. He's really not even forcing it into bad situations. He's doing everything you would want a rookie quarterback to do. And let's be honest, at the beginning of the year, did any of us pick the Texans to be in playoff contention? No. And they arguably could if he keeps it up. So I'm excited to see it, and I'm happy for him. I don't think we should ever wish bad on rookies. I think, you know, they got to play like this, though. He's doing great.
Coach Price.
I think he's floating on a cloud like Aladdin in a magic carpet. He's doing everything you should do as a rookie quarterback. And you got to think about it. In 4 games, he's got over 1,200 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's averaging 300 yards a game with at least 2 touchdowns right now. And that's putting him on pace to have almost 5,000 yards at the end of the season. Not saying he's going to do it, but dude, how many other rookies do you know have came in the league and have those type numbers
None.
on that team? You know, he's got them second in the division, even though the division is all knotted up at 2-2. But you got to think about it. He's got another rookie that's in first place in that division. So I look at Stroud and Richardson to set the benchmark in that division. And CJ Stroud will be the one to come out on top on it. I
Yeah,
just
'cause
like the way the guy plays the game. He's poised with it. He understands it and is, I know TJ is gonna hate to hear this, and Barry is gonna love to hear it. But I
Say
think
it.
Ryan Day with what's his win percentage, Barry?
0.889 and counting.
Got CJ Stroud NFL ready.
And I'm so glad you said that, man. I'm not going to turn this to a Ryan Day show, but you got to give him credit. The dude is, hey, his last two that came out to me was very talented, but Stroud is definitely more successful than the last guy. What do you say, Hackett?
How many Pepto Bismols I had to swallow in that national championship? I mean, in that game, semifinal game with him on the field. I'm gonna tell you, even when we went down the field and scored, that was the first time I can honestly tell you, dog, that with the defense we were putting out on the field, I was scared.
And also, what you said about Anthony Richardson being behind him, I think CJ Stroud's the clear guy to come out and win that as far as the two rookies, because Richardson's already been hurt already, and we're 4 games in. And he's known to stay hurt. He's been hurt all through college. I mean, he only started like 13 games in college. The talent's always been there with AR, but he's not going to be able to stay healthy, man. He'll be hurt again at some time at this point. I'm not wishing it on him. I'm just going off what's been given.
Yeah, I can't deny that. He seems to be getting nicked up pretty good. What'd you say, Havoc?
Well, CJ Stroud, guys, he's playing incredible football right now. Tony said earlier they got Dameon Pierce, a good running back. It seems like he's off to a really good start to his career based on what I saw. I saw him against the Jaguars. He was making good reads, getting the ball out quickly and decisively. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see this at Ohio State. At Ohio State, he wasn't able to make throws into tight windows. He was hitting wide open receivers. That was my question mark on him. And now he's able to make those throws in tight spaces. I don't know if he worked on his game in the offseason or got with the same throwing coach Jalen Hurts has, but I mean, he's made a remarkable improvement on his accuracy, and hopefully it continues with CJ Stroud. It is still year one, but he's off to a great start. It looks like it's going to stay.
Hey, I definitely like what I'm seeing, man, out of the young cat. I wish him a whole lot of luck. I do kind of feel like he's a little bit better, more composed than Richardson. Richardson is he's a beast, but I think he tried to do too much with his body. He's going to do a little bit more. He's got to do some things with his head. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Wu-Tang Clan. Dollar bills, y'all. Is there a new beast in the East? Let me hear about it, Coach.
No, because messing with the Wu-Tang is dangerous. It's clearly the Miami Dolphins. I mean, Buffalo, you've had your run with Josh Allen, and we know what y'all are capable of, and you're going to be real competitive. But right now, the beast in the East is still the Miami Dolphins, and the thing about it is the Bills have got to go to Miami at the end of the season. That's when you can determine who's the beast. But what Buffalo is doing right now, it's always going to be great. I mean, that's a franchise that's got its history with it. Buffalo is always going to be successful at some point. But right now, considering them being the beast in the East, no, it's the Miami Dolphins.
Man, you must didn't see that beat down Sunday. What'd you say, Dalton?
That's nothing.
Yeah. First off, shout out to Havoc. Got a brand new living room there. Looks fabulous. I'm sure it came from IKEA. But let's be honest. they are the beast of the East. They've been AFC East champions how many years straight now? I mean, they're going to probably be AFC East champions again. And the only team that's been able to say, hey, no, you're not the true beast of the AFC is the Bengals and the Chiefs. So, I mean, to me, right now, until Miami goes in there and slaps them around, they are the beast of the East, and they should reign supreme. And honestly, I could see, I called that game perfectly last week. I said Josh Allen and them would get the win, and they did more than that. They smacked them. But I think Josh Allen and them are going to be able to win the AFC this year and take the Bills back to the Super Bowl. As of right now, that's what it looks like. The Bills are dangerous. I also said they had the best duo in NFL. Stephon Diggs lit the Dolphins up like the 4th of July. He's nasty against anybody. So I'm sticking with the Bills, baby.
Go ahead and hate because of that Alabama boy who didn't. Hey, he put up 70 points against them Broncos. I don't know what happened when he went to play dollar bill, y'all. Let me hear it.
Hey, JP, you gonna like this because I like how he brings up the 70 points versus the Broncos. But what happened there? Let's talk about what Josh Allen did against the Jets.
Nobody want to talk about that.
I know we don't, because that's the loss already.
It was game one.
It don't matter. This is the NFL. It ain't like college, where you got to build chemistry and this and that. These guys have been playing together for years. This ain't no first time go around. These guys on the Bills have been playing together for 3 or 4 years now. They know what they're going to do. They know how they're going to do it. The Bills just came in with a great game plan against the Dolphins. 2 safeties over the top to make sure you can't get beat deep and send pressure. Make everything be thrown in front of you because Sean McDermott trusts his defense to make the plays that you're supposed to make. Now, yes, the Bills played great. It was at home. And a stat that you need to consider is Josh Allen is now 7-0 at home against the Miami Dolphins, regardless of who's the quarterback. He does not lose to the Dolphins at home. But I tell you what he does do. He does lose in Miami. Mm-hmm. He chokes in Miami. But let's get more in depth on that. Obviously, we all knew it's the Bills or the Dolphins that win this division. That was preseason. It's decided by them 2 teams. Yeah, the Patriots, you would think, could somehow beat one of them, but now the Patriots season is going down the drain. Not only are they struggling, but Judon's out, and then the star, absolute 100% lockdown rookie of the year on the defensive end is out for the season. Kane, or is it Kane? Is that how you say his name, Dalton? Is it Kane or Christian? Gonzalez is the last name, I'm pretty sure, right?
I think so.
The corner, he's unreal. I mean, he was shutting down elite receiver ones. But I still think it's the Dolphins, like JP said, because, like I said, you're not seeing the Dolphins at full strength right now. Yes, they are on offense, but their defense isn't at full strength yet. Stephon Diggs might have ran wild, but you're not going to sit here and tell me when Jalen Ramsey comes back and is on Stephon Diggs that he's going for 150+ and 2 touchdowns. You just can't tell me that. That's only to happen to Jalen Ramsey not even a handful of times. I can count it on 3 fingers his whole career. And Jamar Chase was one of them. So when they come back, I expect another shootout, obviously, because for some reason the Dolphins' defense is a letdown this year, man. The past 2 years, their defense kind of carried them in some games. They were causing turnovers, all kinds of stuff, and now you can just pass all over them. I mean, the running game's not horrible, but anybody can pass them. We've seen it in the Chargers game. Herbert threw all of them. The difference was Tua went down the field, got in the league, and Herbert choked. But I still think the Dolphins are going to win the division. I know the Bills had a great game, but it's easy to win at home versus going somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
I don't expect them to win in Miami. I don't expect them to beat them in the playoffs when Jalen Ramsey's back either. I expect the Dolphins to win this division outright.
I think people get used to what a player was, and sometimes they forget about what a player is. Everybody thinks that Jalen Ramsey is going to be Jalen Ramsey at all. I don't. I think it's going to get torched this year.
Stephon Diggs is going to knock the sugar off his shoes.
I'm not even talking about just Miami. I'm just telling you guys, don't be thinking that Ramsey is the same Ramsey. He may not be. What do you say, Havoc?
Well, the Buffalo Bills, guys, when Josh Allen plays like this, very tough team to beat. The problem with Josh Allen is you don't get this every week. You don't know
Bingo.
when you're going to get these types of games from Josh Allen. And I'm not going to lie, obviously, I did pick the Dolphins to win that game, and he shredded the Dolphins. He looked amazing. If Josh Allen plays that kind of football, they can win a Super Bowl. But can he do that when he needs to do it the most? Can he do that? I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves. But as far as the rest of the team and not Josh Allen, because there are other players besides Josh Allen, and the Bills have a great defense this year. The Miami Dolphins, that's not a slouch of an offense. They scored 70 on Denver. And I know Denver sucks, but guys, that's a great offense. And the Bills handled them. They held Tyreek to 3 catches. And we've all talked about how great Tyreek is. He even had his own segment on the show a couple weeks ago. And the Bills shut him down. And Tua was uncomfortable and skittish in the pocket the whole second half. Tua was fine in the first half. The second half, the offensive line could not block up front anymore.
And
So
Havoc, also, to your point about Josh Allen, you not knowing what you're going to get, he's another one of them guys. He doesn't play up to the competition. He plays down to the competition.
Yeah.
Against the bad teams, he does stuff like this. But when he plays those good defenses, he's like a deer in the headlights. He's a turnover machine. I mean, like I said, the Jets game, when Aaron Rodgers went down, nobody in here thought that they had a chance to win that game. And Zach Wilson comes out and beats Josh Allen. I mean, how weird is it to say that Zach Wilson beats Josh Allen, but Josh Allen just completely stomps the best offense in football?
Yeah.
And almost beat Patrick Mahomes. You know,
Right.
Go ahead, Dalton.
You know, we're also forgetting about something. Let's be honest. The Jets have an elite defense.
That's what we're talking about, a good defense, though. He does.
You know?
He doesn't play great against good defenses, and it's shown. He goes off against, Kansas City Chiefs doesn't have a great defense. They have a great offense. He goes off against those teams, that are great teams in the league. But let's be real about it. Those teams, most of the great teams don't have great defenses now in the NFL. It's usually the teams that struggle on offense that have really, really good defenses, like the Jets, the Washington Commanders, the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons. All these teams have elite defenses, but they have no offense.
I get that, but how is Jalen Ramsey, one player, going to make them elite?
No, I'm not saying it's going to make their defense elite, but you take away Stephon Diggs, the only other guy you don't have another guy who can run all the routes. Gabe Davis is strictly a deep threat person. That's it. They don't have another guy, but Stephon Diggs being able to run all over the field opens it up for everybody. You put Jalen Ramsey shadowing him all across the whole game, make him work for everything he's got to get, and then you make somebody else beat you. And in my opinion, the only person that could beat you in the passing game, if you stop Stephon Diggs, is throwing it to James Cook out the backfield. Because like I said, Gabe Davis is not a guy who's going to route you up.
So with that being said, when you bring Stephon Diggs back and you bracket, when you bring Ramsey back and you got Stephon Diggs out there and you bracket him with Ramsey on him, dude, he ain't getting open. A man-to-man bracket shuts Randy Moss and the rest of them down.
Well, I'll be remiss not to say a bit of information that I heard from Havoc a few seconds ago that stated that when Tyreek is shut down, the Dolphins lose, which is what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes through 10. You can mark it down. If Tyreek would have had a big game, let's just be honest, do the Dolphins win?
No,
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're
not beating a team. When you give up 50 points in the NFL, you're not winning. That's just my opinion. I don't care who does whatever.
You can when you're a team that puts up 70.
Yeah,
it would have been a 49-48 victory.
A lot of people told me on the last show that the show was more about the Dolphins than the Broncos.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
so if you're a high scoring team, you got. I think most people, and somebody said that the Chiefs has a great offense. I disagree. I don't think the Chiefs are that good this year.
I was talking about just in general, like dating back up till now, not
but I'm talking about current events. I don't think they're that good. I think they're okay. Something is just not right with the Chiefs, and I could just feel it. But
They always seem to figure it out. I don't
You
know
know,
how.
yeah, I hope they do because it's a long year for me when the Chiefs don't win. All I'm saying, guys, is I do agree that Josh Allen, he's kind of got that deer in the headlight thing, that Matt Ryan thing. You know, he can play excellent, and then he'll turn around and he'll just lose it. You know, and he can't beat the big boys, but if he can put it together, man, I'm telling you, he's one of my favorite players. I tell y'all, Troy Polamalu, Derrick Henry, and even in the good Josh Allen, it's just hard to beat him. Hey guys, sometimes you pick up the mic, and then sometimes you have to drop that thing. Is it time for the Steelers to drop the mic?
No.
Dalton.
No. I'll tell you what time it is for. To drop the mat. Drop Matt Canada. Get him out of here. Do you realize one thing? That going back to, I can't remember how far back, maybe it's 4 years, ever since Matt Canada has been the OC, the Steelers have never went over 400 yards in one game. Every other team in the NFL has done that, I think, at least 4 times. So that is shocking. And I'll tell you why you don't fire Mike Tomlin. Think about it. He's never had a losing season, even with the issues of Matt Canada. And for Matt Canada to have now, what would this be? The second year, full year with Kenny Pickett, and you're this bad on offense? Fire Matt Canada, and if Mike Tomlin don't, then maybe fire him. But I don't want to fire Mike Tomlin. Get rid of the OC. That's the only problem. Defense is great, but you can't score enough.
I'm not sure the defense is great. They play great at times, but I'm not sure that they're great. Talk about it, Tony.
No, I agree with Dalton, man. The Steelers' defense is stout. I mean, you got arguably, in my opinion, he is the best pass rusher in the NFL in Watt on the D line. And then you have the best safety in the NFL, Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, you got 2 guys that are number 1 at their position on the same defense. And like I said, the defense, the only reason they gave up as many points last week is the offense. The offense continued to go through. I mean, they caused turnovers. They got the ball to give their offense a chance to score to get back in that game several times. And Steelers either turned it over, missed a field goal, or they just did nothing, 3 and outs. And it doesn't matter how great your defense is, guys. If you continue 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, eventually it's going to give out. But no, man, you can't. It's not even a thought in the organization's head. Mike Tomlin is not the problem. Mike Tomlin is a top 5 head coach in the NFL. I don't care what team's winning. If you stack these 32 coaches up right beside each other and you don't have that man in the top 5, then I don't know what you were thinking. Because like I said, like Dalton said, he's never had a losing season. The guy knows his stuff. And after last game, he didn't come up making no excuses for the offense. He said, we're about to change some things. So, and I think Canada's done. He might not be officially fired, but he ain't going to be calling a whole lot going forward. And I don't expect the Steelers' offense to take a major jump, but I expect to see some different stuff because, look, and I know I'm an Alabama guy, but would you not hate to be Najee Harris in this offense right now? Like, this dude is having to scratch and claw just to get 2 freaking yards because it's so predictable what they're doing. It's run, and it's not even like smart runs. You're trying to go side to side with a back who wants to get downhill. Like, I don't understand what you're trying to generate, and you can't work in the play action pass when you're trying to hit the edges with a guy who's not a speed back. Najee Harris wants to hit the tackles, and, he might bounce it outside, but that's once everybody tries to get and contain, and then he gets around them. But I just don't understand giving it 1-2 and then try to throw every time. It's ain't a high school offense. This isn't Pepperell under Jeff Shiflett. We ain't running 26 power first and second down and then running a bootleg pass on third.
Coach Price, is it time to drop the mic?
Absolutely not. I mean, we're talking about a man who's never played in the NFL, played tight end / wide receiver at William and Mary, was a defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings in 2006. Then he got the stint as a head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's got 173 wins 103 losses, 2 ties, 2 Super Bowls. There have been 16 coaches in Pittsburgh. Number 1 on that list is Chuck Noll, 193 wins and 4 Super Bowls. You don't get rid of a guy who's had a team with a winning record every single season he's been there, brought you 2 Super Bowls, and is 20 wins away from tying the best coach that's ever come through Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin will retire from there. There's
Careful.
no reason to get rid of him. The problem with Pittsburgh is just like y'all hit on. You have to go out and you have to find you an offensive coordinator who wants to put the dagger in you. You got George Pickens over there. You need a quarterback. See, when Ben Roethlisberger was there, the reason why we called him Big Ben is because he took the time to do whatever he wanted to do and could get away with it. This guy took chances every ball game. Ben Roethlisberger is the only quarterback that'll throw a deep ball 60 yards down the field in triple coverage and score. And you'll say all day long, why would he make that throw when you had a tight end on the other side of the field all by his lonesome? It's because Big Ben took the chances, but when he took the chances, he made his chances work. Pickett, you don't take chances. You make dumb decisions. So Mike Tomlin is only a Super Bowl to be number 3. He's only a quarterback away from really being there. He's got the running back. I mean, just like TJ said, and I hate to have to pull Najee Harris out of my back on this one. But dude, you really got an elite running back, not just a good running back, but you got an elite running back. All right, like I said, you got George Pickens out there. You got an elite wide receiver. Now you just need an elite quarterback who don't mind trying to get it out there.
And honestly, coach, they got an elite tight end. They got a top 8 tight end in the league with Freiermuth.
Yeah, yeah. So
I know.
you got, like you said, you got the weapons, but Mike Tomlin, man, no. That man's in Pittsburgh to the day he retired. He's 20 wins away from passing Chuck Noll. His winning percentage is 6.62. That's more than above average. The
What
only
is
thing
it,
that hurt
boy?
Mike Tomlin is his
0.62
playoff.
in the NFL.
Yeah, now his playoff record is 0.47, but he's 8-9. But at the same time, dude, 8-9, that means 9 seasons I had y'all in the playoffs. At least 9 seasons I had you in the playoffs out of my career. But we had a winning season every year. And unfortunately in the NFL, you could have a 10-6 record and not make the playoffs.
Yep.
Havoc. Talk some sense into these boys. We're gonna drop the mic.
Guys, I said this about, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and then Steve said the same thing. They need to fire Matt Canada. This offense that I've watched with the Steelers, bro, it reminds me of the 1995 Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers style of old school I formation offense. It's not working. It's predictable. Matt Canada, I mean, I can tell you what plays he's going to call. Then Two Turd said it earlier. He's got Najee Harris, a power back, and he's trying to use him like Reggie Bush. Like that doesn't work. And then he fails to use Najee's pass catching ability. They have a really good tight end, Pat Freedmuth, who doesn't even really get targeted. So I just, what I would like to ask Mike Tomlin is, why did you hire Matt Canada in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you bring the conversation full circle. They pay Mike Tomlin to make decisions. I am a bona fide Steelers fan. I love the Steelers. To me, they personify football. I said in one of these early shows that you got to want to go watch Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Green Bay in Green Bay, all these places, Arrowhead, they are the monumental places to watch football. Mike Tomlin's not getting it done, fellas. Just having a winning season is not good enough. And if we're honest about the last winning season, they were scrapping to get that guy. Go back and look at the record from last year. I remember hearing them saying, and it was embarrassing. We're playing to get Mike a winning season. That's not good enough, guys. It's Pittsburgh Steelers. At some point, Mike got to make some better decisions. And why did you ever even get that quarterback? I mean, come on. He's terrible. Why you get a bad OC? At some point, Mike, if he's going to get the credit, he's got to get some of the blame. Now, I will tell you, I absolutely love him as a coach. His fire, his no-nonsense. You look at him, you want to play for him. He's a man's man. I feel that way about him. But I cannot sit back and say that he don't need to be getting a little heat on his seat for some of the things that's happening in Pittsburgh. Because I believe he does. And you want to talk about somebody who wins, let's do it. Okay? You want to talk about somebody who wins just to show you that I'm not showing any type of bias. Okay? He don't put out like he used to. Is it time to bail out on this check? And I'm going to have to bring this up top to Digo himself. Talk to me.
Hey, well, this is the shirt. I think TJ found this in his basement and he thought it was mine, so he saved it. But we really don't know where this shirt came from. But this is from the first Super Bowl championship. And I've hung on to it for, since then. But listen, this is very tough for me. I mean, I watched the games and I've picked the Patriots to win all year long. And man, they've not won all year long. So it hurts. We beat the Jets, but we beat the Jets every time we play them. It's just disappointing. Yeah, we do have injuries, but let's be honest. Even before the injuries, we weren't that good. I have been a supporter of Mac Jones, but now it seems like everything's unraveling. I mean, his last game was horrendous. The Dallas Cowboys made him look horrible. And, I mean, you can ask TJ. I'm a Mac Jones fan, but some changes have got to be made. This is not the Patriots of the old. You don't have that leader in the locker room like Tom Brady, who's really just another coach, who can just go out there and win any game, no matter where it's at, who you're playing. So it's like, this is tough for me. But like you just said, if you're going to make the argument for Tomlin, Belichick's got to make better decisions. And he's never been to the playoffs without Tom Brady. So that to me is a very, very tell-all sign. And let's be honest, it seemed at times he didn't even want Brady to succeed. I mean, Brady had to go to his local Applebee's and find a couple wide receivers, and then they had to play on Sunday. And he still torched people, So, I mean, the best wide receiver he ever had, Randy Moss, he didn't even win a Super Bowl with. So it's like, I think the problem is, I hate to say it, but I'll say it, Barry. You want me to. You're baiting me. The problem is Belichick right now. But we do not bail on this check. If you want to go back to the slide, we got to stick to it. But we got to make changes on offense. We got to go out and get free agents. I mean, you mean to tell me our best wide receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Running back? Come on. Ramondre Stevenson, I mean, he's okay, but I just don't see enough. We're not going out and get talent. And we made a trade today for, I think, J.C. Jackson of the Chargers. Okay, good, but go get offense. We can't score more than 10 points, So Belichick, you got to do something because my blood pressure can't take it anymore, and I'm tired of losing.
I know Havoc is ready to bail on this chick.
Well, guys, I'm going to take a different approach here. I'm ready to bail on Belichick as the general manager. Belichick as the general manager is awful. Recently. Now, I have to clarify recently because he did draft Rob Gronkowski. He drafted Tom Brady. He drafted Asante Samuel, Richard Seymour. The list goes on and on. But within the last 10 years, Belichick has made a lot of draft blunders, especially at the wide receiver position. And I have to bring this up. It's very important. Belichick chose to draft N'Keal Harry over Deebo Samuel in 2019. That happened. And when you do that, you set your offense back years. You think about New England with if Mac Jones had a weapon like Deebo Samuel right now, how much different Bill O'Brien's offense would be. And that, to me, shows you Belichick as GM. I still think Belichick can coach. I want to clarify that. But as GM, he needs to go 100%.
Coach Price, you belling?
Well, this is what this situation kind of reminds me of. You ever been in Panama City on spring break? You and your boys riding in the car, and all of a sudden, chick jumps in the car with you. She starts drinking and drinking and drinking, and then you realize, what have we really picked up? And she says, "Oh, I think I'm getting sick." And then you pull over, and when she jumps out to go puke behind a palm tree, you drive off.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna have to do in this situation. I agree with Havoc totally. As a GM, you're the drunk GM, Bill, and it's time for somebody to drive off and leave you puking behind a palm tree.
All right.
Let somebody else do it. I mean, like Havoc said, you've had your run with some real good players, but the older you get, and this even is, and I even put this to even Nick Saban, the older you get, the less you're able to really connect with some of these elite players. So you don't draft them because you don't know how to handle them. You can't handle a Deebo Samuel in New England if I treated it like I did when I had Brady and the rest of the guys here. So what do? I don't draft him. I'm gonna get a guy. Well, what about the guy that you get? Oh, well, his coach had him in the doghouse. He understood. He came out. He performed like he was supposed to on Saturday. That's the guy I'm gonna go draft. But Bill, he's only got 4 touchdowns. Don't matter. I'm Bill Belichick. I make the decisions. Dog, get out behind the palm tree and let somebody else pick you up. You're still puking before I come back and pick you up. So in this situation, man, it's time for Bill Belichick to relinquish some of his duties. He's a little bit too old for it, you know. Now, where can you say all this took place and why would coaches do it that way and do it this way? Well, you got to go back to Bill Parcells when he was in Dallas. He told Jerry Jones, if you want me to cook the meal on Sunday, you got to at least let me shop for the groceries. Well, Bill, you're doing Instacart too much.
Oh.
You're just ordering the groceries and letting anybody drop them off. You really need to get down there and find out what's out there, and you need to go get it. You finished bad in your division, and you've had early draft picks for too many years to let too many players that other teams have picked up go. You're a defensive guru. You never went after somebody like a Jalen Carter. You never went after a Will Anderson. I mean, come on, Bill. We know what you do when you got an elite defense, but your problem as a GM is you wanted to spend money on free agents instead of draft picks because it's cheaper on you. So,
Absolutely.
so Bill Belichick, you need to give up the duty of GM, stick to head coaching, retire as one of the most successful coaches under Robert Kraft and his system in New England. Or like I said, buddy, you'll still be behind that palm tree puking before I come back and pick you up.
Well said. Two turn.
Man, I'm torn all the way on this. And I hate to bring college up, but this is what it reminds me of, man. And it's opposite. So you remember back when college football started to take that turn from, when Nick Saban, for example, Alabama running the ball 30 times a game and dominating. Well, then you see the spread come into play, and everybody's going, "Oh man, Nick Saban's about to be done. He don't know how to adapt. He don't know how to change his offense. He's going to have to do this to compete." Well, Nick Saban does it. He goes out and hires the coordinators. He gets the players for a spread system and continues to dominate football for 6, 7 more years after that. That's what Bill is lacking to do, guys. He is trying to stay with the same system that worked before, and it can't work in modern day football. Now, yes, that worked when the Jets sucked, when the Dolphins sucked, when the Bills sucked for 12 years, besides having, 1 or 2 years, like when Brett Favre was with the Jets, or when Tom Brady was hurt and Matt Castle won 10 games and somebody else won the division. But you can't keep going and not spending any money, trying to get the second and third string guys from teams like the Raiders or the Cowboys or the Bengals and throw them out there as starters in your system just because you think you're that good of a defensive coach and that you can continue to win with a mediocre offense or just an average offense because your defense is so good. And I can't stand Bill O'Brien. Couldn't stand him in Alabama. The dude only had one game last year where Alabama looked balanced, and that was Tennessee, and we lost. So you got a guy, and I look at the Patriots roster, like we said, you got rid of a guy who was legit, who was building like a young receiver. And always, it's Myers they got rid of, right? Yeah, because I always get Myers and Bourne. Bourne wasn't bad and Myers wasn't bad, but they would always, for some reason, it seemed like one of them was always hurt when the other one was healthy. They were never together like more than a couple games. With both them on the field, the Patriots looked decent last year. And then you get rid of one of them and you bring in Juju. The guy, dude, they even came out with an article saying that doctors are telling him your knee is going to explode at some point. Like, it is not good. You don't need to be playing football. You need this procedure done. He's like, oh, it's not as bad as you think. And then you got a guy, if I'm the Patriots, and this is me, I'm not getting paid $1 million like Bill O'Brien. You got 2 legitimate tight ends. You got Hunter Henry and you got Mike Gesicki, which Mike Gesicki is not even seeing the field. It makes no sense. Mike Gesicki was a legitimate weapon for the Miami Dolphins. He was, especially 2 years ago, he was Tua's number 1 guy before Waddle and Tyreek got here. I would have Mike Gesicki and Hunter Henry on the field at the same time, no matter what. And you got to get them involved somehow if you want to have any kind of success on offense right now. And, the quarterback always gets the blame. Mac Jones did play terrible last game. But the 3 games before, he was the only reason they had a chance to win because of the throws he was making. But, he's a competitor himself. He's so pissed off every time he comes off the field, and he's getting frowned upon for being mad that they're mediocre. And it's not like he's mad at other people. He gets mad at himself just as much as the rest of the team. So it just seems like a complete implosion from the outside in. Players, the coaches, to the GMs, everything. And then now you lose your top 2 guys on defense. I just don't know where the Patriots go this season going forward. Who do they play this week? Do we know?
You have to look it up. Probably somebody who's going to win. I would say that you guys touched on everything that I was thinking and that I feel about Bill Belichick. I think that he's full of himself. He doesn't want to adapt.
He refuses to pay people, man.
And right. I think his stick has always been, I'm going to do a lot
with little
for less. And he's lived on that because he had the GOAT. Well, the GOAT is no more. I'm not saying that this year or the next year you bail on the chick if you're Kraft, but I'm going to tell you 100%. Me, I think it's getting about time to bail on the chick. You got something, Dalton? Yeah. So I just think it's bad in New England, and it might get a whole lot worse before it gets any better. New segment. I've been waiting on this segment for a while. Who is wreaking havoc in the NFL from our very own thoroughbred Havoc? Bring it.
All right, it's the Thoroughbred Havoc, and this is introducing my segment, Who is Wreaking Havoc? And on offense, Puka Nakua, rookie wide receiver from the Los Angeles Rams. Almost said St. Louis there, showing my age. This guy, Puka Nakua, guys, he came out of nowhere. He's got 39 receptions for 501 yards, only one touchdown, but he got that last week against the Colts. And guys, these stats are really good. This guy is making Cooper Kupp look expendable. Against the Colts, he had 9 catches for 163 yards and a touchdown. 2 weeks ago against the 49ers, he caught 15 passes for 147 yards. I'm not sure about the rest of you guys, but I don't remember the last time a rookie caught 15 passes in one game. On defense, Khalil Mack, guys, had 6 sacks last Sunday. That really happened. He had 6 sacks. You can fact check it. It happened. If that's not wreaking havoc, I don't know what is. Khalil Mack is making the Bears and Raiders look stupid for letting them go to the Chargers. And if Brandon Staley doesn't find a way to mess up that team, which he probably will, they're off to a lot better start. And then the team that's wreaking havoc, well, I got to say it's the 49ers. I mean, I know it sounds like a layup, but guys, Brock Purdy has still not lost a game that he started and finished. He's still taking great care of the football. Now, Brock Purdy doesn't come out and throw for 400 yards a game, but he runs Kyle Shanahan's offense very effectively. And they've also got Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, and then Nick Bosa, the reigning defensive player of the year on the defense. The team wreaking havoc is the 49ers, guys.
And that's who's
Yes,
wreaking
sir.
havoc. That's who's wreaking havoc. I agree. Those 49ers are smoking. And I can't wait to see them play some more. Hey, listen, I'm gonna dive right into the next one of my favorite segments, and everybody seems to be loving this segment too. Dumpster juice. We back into the dumpster. Smell it and tell it like it is, coach.
All right, B. Our first stop after we got a phone call that said it was a foul stench of donuts in the air. So I had to figure out where to start at. And they told me I'm going to have to go all the way to Soldier Field. So to Chicago I go to find the sourest stench of spoiled donuts from the Chicago Bears, who are 0-5. Donut in the win column, which means y'all stink. So your play calling is terrible. Your quarterback play is terrible. So Chicago, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, at 0-5, you guys are straight trash. And then I'm gonna hop back in the truck and I'm gonna take it all the way to Bank of America. And I'm honest with everybody, and I'm gonna tell you they need to close every account in this bank. But you Carolina Panthers, you guys are sour, spoiled donuts at 0-5.
Wow.
You've got arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play college football, who is a Heisman Trophy winner, and in a nickel's worth of ball games, y'all couldn't produce one win for him. Carolina Panthers, I'm sorry to say it, brother, but you guys are straight trash. But this is the kicker. Now I got to get a plane ticket.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to fly Dumpster Juice Airlines, and we're going to go across the pond where we found the sorry, sourdough, bird poop smelling Falcons, who went all the way across the pond to get manhandled by the Jags. It's like I said before, I'll say it again, and I don't care what Falcon fan don't like it, but you Atlanta Falcons, you and a cake with no eggs have one thing in common. Neither one of y'all will rise up.
Hey,
So as far as you Atlanta Falcons go, in the words of my European friends, you guys are straight trash.
oh, Coach now brought out a new accent in Dumpster Juice. Coach, now I gotta get me a shirt with the airline on it that says Dumpster Juice Airlines. Dude, that is too sweet. Guys, I hate to bring this next thing up because Beaster Kane is not doing too well.
Daddy's on the way.
But I will say that I'm doing better than Digo and Kalen. Oh, maybe not Kalen because I'm tired with Kalen. My bad, Kalen. I know you're out there somewhere. Hey, guys, I am 11 games behind. Dylan started out fast, man, and we have not been able to catch him.
Hey, don't worry. Dylan started trending down this week when he finished, I think, 7th in last week's pick. So he's on the downward spiral, and Daddy's on the upward one.
But you know, the one thing I can say about this is, dude, I am so glad Havoc ain't on here because he would probably be the only one at 100 right now.
He probably saved us.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, let's end the show by making some quick picks for the NFL. And if you will, just run through them from the interest of time. And let's see what we got. See if we agree on some things. See what we disagree on. Again, you do not have to maintain any integrity when you say what you say here versus what you select on those apps, baby. So let's start with with Havoc. Run them down, Havoc, if you can see this. You're muted, Havoc.
Does it say Houston, Atlanta?
Yeah, let me run them to you. Houston, Atlanta.
Oh, and pick the games?
Yeah.
Got to go with Houston against Atlanta. New Orleans, New England. I'm going to pick New England in this one. I just Derek Carr is falling apart, and Belichick is going to really confuse him. Is New York Giants there? Giants,
Yeah,
Miami?
New York Giants in Miami.
Dolphins in this one.
Tennessee, Indy.
I'm going to go with Tennessee in this one.
And Cincinnati,
Arizona.
Yeah, you see it? Yeah.
I'll go with Cincinnati. Rams and Eagles. I want to pick the Rams in an upset, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs and Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but guys, this could be a trap game. This easily could be a trap game for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Then is that New York Jets? Looks like Jets in Denver. Yeah, I'll go with the Jets. Then Cowboys, 49ers. This one's going to hurt me because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I don't see us winning this game. I got to pick the 49ers. Then finally, Green Bay and Las Vegas. Jordan Love's let me down the last 2 weeks. I've picked them to win, but I'm still going to pick them to beat the Raiders because Josh McDaniels is Josh McDaniels. So there we go.
All right, two-turn.
I'm gonna go with Houston beating Atlanta. Also, just ain't much to say about Atlanta. It needs to be dumpster juice. Also, I got New England beating New Orleans because the only offense that I think has a great defense that's worse than New England's is New Orleans. Like Havoc said, Derek Carr is trash. I have been off the Derek Carr train for years. He is an interception machine anytime the game needs something special. And Jameis Winston's right behind him. So they just practiced on interceptions. That's what they do. Miami big time over New York. It's not going to be close, man. There's things going on in New York. Brian Dable is absolutely sick of Daniel Jones right now. And I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones is sick of his team. This is a tough one, man. Indianapolis has been in almost every game, but I think that win, like I told y'all last week, I thought Tennessee had to win against the Bengals for their season, and I think that propels them going forward. I think Derrick Henry has a huge game. Tennessee in that game, I'm going to skip this game and save it for last. I'm also with Havoc. I want to pick the Rams, but I feel like Stafford will turn the ball over a few times against that Philadelphia defense, so I'm going Philadelphia. This is also a trap game, like Havoc said, but I got to go with Kansas City. I got to go with the better quarterback. I'm going with the Jets over Denver. Defense is better. I think Zach Wilson's not playing horrible. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. Man, I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys to upset the San Francisco 49ers.
Man.
And I'm the guy who said pull Dallas out of that top 5 best teams. This is going to be whichever defense comes through, because they both have stout defense. But I'm going to tell you who I believe is the best player in the NFL who's going to make a difference, and that is Micah Parsons for the Cowboys. I think he's going to make a huge difference in that game. And I'm going to pick the Raiders. I just think the Raiders are going to win this game outright. It's at home. Jordan Love is a very good young quarterback, but I just think the Raiders get it done. Now I'm going to spend about a minute and a half on this last pick. Cincinnati and Arizona. Guys, Cincinnati has something terribly wrong going on with them as a program right now. Joe Burrow came out and said today, this is a must-win game. Yeah, so was last week. You guys need to win. Their schedule has not been hard. They should have one loss max right now with the guys they have. You have all the weapons on offense. You got Higgins. You got Chase. You got Joe Mixon. The only thing that guy's better at than football is knocking out women in bars. Dude, they should be winning. But let me tell you something. These Arizona Cardinals, as much as they were wanting to tank, those players ain't letting it happen. They're playing their butts off. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Tennessee quarterback, Joshua Dobbs, is going to pull the upset off, and he is going to beat these Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. And the Cincinnati goes to shambles after this week. They shut Joe Burrow down for the season after this week.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with Joe.
No, I'm saying they shut him down to keep him from getting hurt. He's already hurt. Shut him down. Let him heal, because they lose this game, they're done. No chance of the playoffs.
Wow. Digo.
Well, I got Houston over Atlanta. Falcons, trash. New England, God almighty, don't hurt me again this week. I'm going to vote for you one more time, but I got to see results. Our next election, you're done. I'm tired of losing points on you. All right. Miami, big. Tennessee, big. I'm honestly going to go with TJ. I believe the Cardinals are going to beat the Bengals. And oddly enough, me and TJ hadn't talked about this all week, but I think it's true. Joe Burrow gets shut down after this week. He plays another horrible game. He's hurt. Set him down, tank the rest of the year, get Marvin Harrison. Well, no, don't even get Marvin Harrison. Just get an offensive line. My Lord. If not, Joe Burrow's going to be like Lieutenant Dan.
You know who's going to start when they shut him down, Barry? AJ
Who?
McCarron.
Oh, God.
LA Rams, Philadelphia. I got the Eagles.
Tank the season.
Fly away. Kansas City, Minnesota. As much as I would wish for the Kansas City Chiefs to lose, and I could see Taylor Swift, cry a little bit, they're going to win this week. Kirk Cousins is an absolute knucklehead. He's going to turn the ball over late in the game like he always does. Denver and New York, the Toilet Bowl, the NFL. The Jets will have a cleaner diaper at the end of the game. They pull away late. San Francisco, things are weird out there in California, but I don't think Dallas is going to tell them that. San Francisco by 14 or more. Green Bay and Vegas. Green Bay, young quarterback Jordan Love, they're going to win it. Vegas, they got a beautiful stadium, but an absolute turd in the middle of the field ruins it. Green Bay on top.
Coach, 7 straight.
Game 1, I'm riding the CJ Stroud cloud. I think he'll continue against Atlanta. He's going to show that he can play against a top defense. Give me Houston in the first one. Second one, of course, I'm gonna go with New England. Ain't nothing I'm gonna do or ever cheer for them ain'ts. Uh, as far as the Giants go, man, y'all gonna get beat to a pulp. Miami is already gonna come in ticked off. They scored 70 on the Denver Broncos. They're gonna try to score 80 on y'all. So
Ooh.
give me Miami. Indy and Tennessee. We're talking about a divisional game, all knotted up in that division 2-2. Indy right now is first place in the division, but look for them to get dropped to at least 3 or 4. Tennessee will come out in that game big. I think Derrick Henry is going to show this is the reason why they call it Indy, because I'm going to run laps around y'all all day.
Ooh.
Cincinnati, Arizona. I think Cincinnati needs to get it together, but they won't. I think Arizona will probably come out with the win. And if I see AJ McCarron comes in the ball game, I know Cincinnati has officially tanked the season. Let's work on the draft. When it comes to Philadelphia and the Rams, I love what they're doing out there in LA. But y'all can't handle what Philadelphia is going to bring to you on defense. I think they're going to beat the Rams to a pulp. So give me the Eagles in that one. Kansas City, Minnesota. Like you said, a trap game, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a trap game. I think Kansas City will come out with a win unless Travis Kelce leaves the toilet seat up. Jets and Denver. Trash versus trash. Gives you nothing but trash. Does anybody know what's the spread on this game?
I think it was about that. That's a good question. You can go ahead and pick it out,
I
brother.
actually think it is 1.
One. Okay, exactly what I would figure. So look for Denver to kick a field goal late in the fourth quarter with 13 seconds left on the clock to get out with a 3-0 win. Dallas, San Francisco.
Got
That boy sure
1.5.
is purdy. And I mean he's a purdy something. But he gonna be bruised and abused by that Dallas front come Sunday. I'm not saying that San Francisco will be out of it. I think this is the ball game where they actually go back to the drawing board and say, hey, let's fix some things so that we could go ahead and finish out what we want to finish out for the season. I mean, this is historical. You can go all the way back to the Dwight Clark catch in this matchup.
Coach, I looked it
Green
up,
Bay,
and the Broncos are actually favored by 1.5 points.
there we go. Denver by a field goal. 13 seconds left, 3-0. Last game, I think that the Raiders will come out on top. I don't think Green Bay will go all the way out west and come away with a victory. I think they'll get out there and make it a good game for a half of a quarter before turnovers start to come into play with Love, because I'm telling you right now, he gets no love from me. So give me the Raiders in the finale.
Yeah, I'm gonna run through these real quick. Atlanta is going to find a way to knock the rain out of the cloud.
Man, get off that division, Barry. Give it up.
Atlanta gonna find a way. Listen, Atlanta is a home team for sure. I'm just telling you,
Yeah, they
they're
love
gonna
sitting
be.
at home.
Listen, guys, you got to think about it. These men gonna have some pride now. They just lost in London. They coming back home. A rookie's gonna come in and beat us at home. They're gonna take that personal. I like Atlanta. Definitely
Jet
gonna
lag.
definitely gonna go with New England unless New Orleans have. If New Orleans play Winston, I'm on New Orleans because I still believe in Winston. I'm taking Miami. They're probably going to be a close game, but pick Miami. Then I'm going to go with Tennessee. And Cincinnati, y'all, they're going to right the wrongs.
They
And
should've
y'all
been.
going to come back to the next show. Y'all going to say, Barry, you was right. It wasn't nothing wrong with Joe. They were just getting their ass kicked. Cincinnati and Burrow and Chase going to embarrass Arizona. I'm going with Philly. I did want to pick the Rams because sometimes Stafford just do little crazy stuff and he wins a game. But I think we all have kind of looked at that team and said maybe. But I'm going with Philly. Kansas City, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think they're gonna have to prove the Swifties wrong on this one. And then this game is really crazy, man. I don't even know who to pick in this, but I've been waiting for Zach Wilson to have last week he put together like almost like a complete game. I know it wasn't pretty, but he almost did it. He fumbled that ball. And isn't it strange that Justin Fields and Zach Wilson both gave those games away in a similar fashion? Didn't they both have huge fumbles in that game? Man, this game right here, I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. But this is going to be interesting. But I think San Fran gets it done. And man, I'm still out. The jury's still out for me on Green Bay. You know, I love Green Bay. It makes me want to pick them, but I still don't know about Jordan Love yet. Coach, you said you didn't have any love for him. Well,
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers ain't gonna come back, Coach. Just say you. You know what? I'm gonna get them Raiders one chance, and then one chance only to win this game. So I'm picking Las Vegas. Dalton, take us out.
Hey, another great show led by your host, Beast of Kane. This has been the NFL show. This is the Chop and Block podcast. Every Tuesday night for the college football show, every Wednesday night for the NFL show, led by Beast of Kane. We are presented and brought to you by DJ's Clam Shack here in St. Augustine, Florida. Appreciate you joining. I wish we had Dylan to send us home, but Barry, send us home.
Yeah, we about to